Hey guys, welcome to episode 16 of the House of Gouldians. So you'll see it's still dark outside. It's very early in the morning, and I'm up this early and waking the birds up because we've got a show today. So it's the Summer Provincial. It's basically an inter-club show for the province that I live in. And yeah, it's not just Gouldians, there's zebra finch, there's Bengalese, there's all sorts of other foreign finches, as well as parrots, and then even some South African finches that of course are kept under permit. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it today. I'm going to try and take as much videos and photographs as I can. But yeah, I am working on the show, so it's going to be a little bit hectic today, I'm sure. But I will try my best and enjoy it. Alright, so the first bird I wanted to chat about was this hen, and you can see straight away that she's superb in terms of colour. So that yellow on the tummy of the bird, if you like, is as bright as a cockbird's would be, and that purple on the breast is just exceptional. I'm now going to put up a photograph of the best lilac on show, and I did that deliberately because I wanted to show you how close that purple was to a lilac cock, or a good quality lilac cock. And you can see the bright yellow on that bird. So if we go back to the hen, you can see why I say the colours on this bird were absolutely amazing. And I think a beginner to the hobby would have some problems telling the cocks from the hens. Obviously there's other telltale signs like the dark beak and the missing blue collar around the neck and the long tail. But if you look purely at the colours, this hen would cause a bit of problems in terms of sexing the birds. Really, really nice bird that. Right, the next bird is a single factor cock. Now, yeah, what I liked about this particular bird was just the brightness of the yellows, obviously, and the nice orange head, but also the purity of the white. I thought it was a particularly nice specimen. And yeah, okay, you can't really see his tail in that photo because it's sort of pressed up against the backboard of the show cage. But yeah, he was a nice little guy, good position on perch, good head on him, and like I said, particularly... Right, so this is an example where the photo doesn't really do the bird as much justice as the video, which you'll see the little short clip at the end. Unfortunately, the video was a bit short, so... Yeah, I thought I'd discuss it by picture rather. But yeah, he took third place overall. He was second to in his class, and the first place ticket in his class won the show overall. But this particular bird, just the overall condition of him was exceptional in terms of feather quality and colour. He was a little bit smaller than the bird that won, and you know there was definitely differences in type and that between the first place and the second place winner, but it shows you that even as a second place ticket holder, he was better than the other first place winners on the show. And yeah, it just shows you the birds can be quite difficult to actually pick a first, second and third on. There he is there, and you can actually see he's actually a great bird. Right, this bird I really, really liked. It was the best yellow rump on show. And yeah, he just had, in my opinion, he had an absolute superb head. The colours were nice and clean on the green, on the wings. So quite often with the yellow rumps you get that lacing effect, which kind of gives it a mottled look, which isn't my favourite personally on the yellow rumps. I like it where the rest of the bird's untouched except for the yellow rump itself. And yeah, I just particularly like this individual. So you'll see the short video on him. Yeah, he's just a really, really nice bird in great condition. Right, so this bird is a double factor yellowback, and yeah, he was my bird. He took a first place in his class, which was open, but then he lost out to the best double factor breeders rung, and as you can see, the bird he lost out to, it was absolutely wow in terms of the brightness of the yellow and the cleanness of it. There was no patchiness whatsoever. So yeah, a really, really deserved win from the breeder's rung bird. Right, so the next was a pair that I wanted to show you. So those who have been watching the channel and paying attention to the logo, you'll know that that's the logo bird essentially is the orange-headed whitebreast. What I liked about these two is just the pure cleanliness of the white, so there's no patching. Right, so next is the blues. This is a pastel blue, so in other words it's 2 copies of the blue gene and a single factor yellow, and because of the purple breast it makes it that the blue quite dark. Yeah, it's the same bird essentially from a genetic perspective, but it's got the red head, so the red then turns salmon, and then the exact same type scenario, but this time with a white breast, and you'll see how much it's lightened up the back of the bird. We know it's a single factor because if you look at this particular bird, you'll see its head's black. So a bird that doesn't have yellow in it, but is blue, would then have that pitch black, whereas on the blackheads, if they do have yellow, they'll either be the grey that we've seen in the previous birds, the first and the third one that I showed you, or it would be, if it is a double factor, it would go then basically white, which is you know, if it's a white-breasted bird like the last one, it would be a composite white effectively. This particular hen took the second best bird on show, best opposite sex, and the best blue on show. She was a particularly nice bird. Unfortunately you can't see her in the picture, but you can see her jumping around here. Good type, nice solid colour, good bird overall. Quite liked this bird. Next was this little silver hen, red-headed single factor blue. Nice little bird, but didn't really come anywhere. The silvers were won by the cock, the single factor cock, which was this particular bird. And that's the end of the blue series. Right, moving on to some of the other birds on the show, we had parrots. This matched pair of parrots, they were golden mantles. They took the best Australian parrots on the show. They also took the best parrot-like birds on the show, and a couple of other prizes. So yeah, they did particularly well. Fairly common bird in South Africa, but yeah, just the condition of the day and all the other sort of features that the parrot judges look for, they did particularly well. Moving on to some of the other parrots on the show, we had some green cheeks, as you can see here. Some Abyssinian lovebirds, a Rosa Burke. I thought the Rosa Burke in particular was a nice bright pink. I've seen a lot of sort of Rosa Burkes where the colours just aren't as vivid as this one. So yeah, some really nice parrots on the show as well. Moving on to some of the other finches on the show, so we had some of the South African finches as well as some other foreign finches on. This particular one is a South African finch, so you need a permit in South Africa to keep it, as it is one of our local birds. But yeah, it's a blue waxbill. I particularly like the bird. I've never had the pleasure of seeing them in the wild, as they're not distributed where I live as such in South Africa, but a nice little bird anyway. We also had some common waxbills under the SA Avery section, as well as a few others, some widers and that type of thing. So yeah, some particularly nice finches on display in terms of the South African ones. We also had a pair of Cubans, a particularly small little bird, and can be quite full of attitude. So very similar to your sort of weaver birds in our country. The weavers get particularly aggressive over nest sites and that kind of thing. But yeah, the Cubans are famous for it. They're certainly not a good general aviary bird if you've got other birds that are yellow and black coloured. So yeah, cute little bird anyway. Right, so under the Bengalese, we had some particularly nice dark chocolate self colours, and they actually, one of those went on to win the specialist finch section, particularly nice specimen. Right, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. The NRCBA put on a really awesome day. It's always good to see other birds, not just the Gouldians, but I particularly enjoyed just interacting with other people from other clubs and other parts of the fancy. For me, that's what being part of a club's all about. It's that social aspect, and particularly with COVID and everything that's been happening over the last couple of years, it was just such a nice day out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for the next episode.